up on the other side. Niggas acting like we tied. I've been gone since like July. Niggas acting like I died. They won't be expecting shit when Capo go to slide. Cause I told them that we put that shit behind us, but I lied. Hey, look who I'm around, man.
What it is, what it ain't, but it's what you know. It's your boy Everything Deezy back with another video. And today I got a super special guest, somebody that I have to say they embody work ethic, they embody the grind, they embody hustle, but they also do it with beauty, you know what I'm saying? And they do it with elegance. And it's an honor to introduce y'all my friend Loren Nelson. Loren, how are you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It's definitely an honor. I definitely wanted to mix it up and, give my women viewers out there that are looking at this. Cause, I had a bunch of guys on here, you know what I'm saying? And even my little sister got at me like, when the girls at? Where the girls at? So I was like, you know what? Fine. I'm going to pull something out the sleeve and see what we can figure out. So I was like, we're going to start one off. We're going to start one off with a heavy hitter for sure. So y'all going to find out as y'all watch this. Y'all going to definitely do it. So like I always say, take your notes out. You know what I'm saying? Take your phone notes out and definitely take some notes out because there's going to be some gems dropped. So first off, I want to get into like how I got to know you. So how I got to know you is funny story. I don't know if I ever told you, but you know my dad. So my dad, he kind of like outlandish. He just be saying everything. My dad I think he like got a way for you to play against my sister in tennis at like one of like the pickup practices. And I was at home or I was somewhere just either doing football or whatever I had going on. My dad was like, yo, you need to see this girl, Loren, who's playing against your sister right now. Like she bad and she can play tennis. I'm like, bro. I was like, man, you crazy, man. Like you're a wild, like that man is wild, but I love it to death. But but then once I think I drove my sister up to a practice where y'all had met at the high school and I got to meet you and I was like, oh my God, she's such a cool person, super funny, super easy to talk to. But going into that, tell us a little bit about your upbringing, like where you're from and everything like that.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually originally from Flint, Michigan. So growing up there, it's a lot going on. But, luckily my parents really helped me, have a head on my shoulders and really pushed me in the right direction. So growing up in a lot of different sports, but when I was around like 11 or 12, they were like, all right, Loren, it's time to choose one. You can't just be out here. Sports are expensive, especially like the more advanced you get. So when I was about like 11 or 12, I decided that I was just going to stick with tennis. And so from there, it's kind of like the rest is history. I just decided to dedicate all of my time in it. And I just saw that there was so much potential in the game. And I just really fell in love with the game overall. And so, that's how I got into that.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. You segues into my next question. So I know you obviously, and a lot of people probably know you from tennis, but what were the other sports that you played?
Yeah, so I started off doing competitive gymnastics. So I would travel around doing that. That was super fun. But then after that, I left gymnastics to play soccer. You know me, I'm pretty sure I'm 5'10", and I was the goalie because all the other girls were afraid of catching the ball. And so, we went undefeated, so that was cool. But yeah, I did soccer, gymnastics, and I played basketball too. I was a point guard. So, I'm pretty well-rounded in the world of sports. Oh, so I like to say.
Man, I didn't know you were a point guard in basketball. That's dope. That's dope. That's really cool. Yeah, I did not know that. And it's funny you did soccer. My little sister did soccer as well. Now gymnastics, did you ever do like the beam or did you do anything crazy or just like floor routines?
Yeah, I did all of it. Yeah.
See that makes sense because as we're going to talk further, I'm definitely going to talk about like, being fearless and like stepping out on what you do. So that definitely, I can see where that translates from being in sports and being not afraid to be the goalie, not afraid to take that leap of faith. So that's awesome. And what would you say, like looking back, how did your upbringing like form like your love for what you do now in terms of like motivation and empowering? Like, how would you say your upbringing really like formulated that?
Yeah, so I would really say that sports helped me develop the mindset of just giving everything you got. Like, obviously, at the end of the day, when it comes down to sports, there's always going to be just one winner. There's not multiple winners. Obviously, now they have like your participation trophies, which is cool.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there's only one winner. So you're going to take a lot of L's when you're getting started, right?
Yes.
And taking those L's requires you to be able to pick yourself back up time and time again. It requires you to be able to reflect on what you did after every game so that you can be better. Because if not, you're going to keep repeating the same mistakes, So just being able to have that background, and heading into the world of business, it showed me that, okay, like it's okay to, put myself out there and not have everything perfect on the first try, because you have to fail in order to learn and in order to move forward. And it's a quote that I really like by Brooke Steele. She said, if you want to succeed, increase the rate you fail by 10. So it's as simple as that, the more you fail, the more opportunities you have to be successful.
Yeah, exactly. And, just definitely seconding off that, you really have to just look at your losses as lessons. You have to look at them as lessons, because if you look at a loss like, oh my God, my world's over, you're never going to get back up. You're just going to keep dwelling in that. So if you look at them as lessons and you keep persevering and you learn like, hey, the stove is hot, don't touch it, you're going to get burnt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to learn from it, So that's awesome. That's a great outlook to have. And, I definitely see that translating into what you do and exactly what you preach, and you practice it. So it's definitely, amazing to see that. So going forward, and of course, and going forward into your high school career. So like you said, you really singled, you said what age again you singled into tennis? So you're 12?
Yeah, about 12, yeah.
About 12 years old. So going about 12 years old. So that's, you would take 7th grade and going into like high school. How was it, going into the world of tennis and like going into, I think, so you definitely got to do like USTA and all that stuff, break it down for the people. Like, how was that?
Yeah, so getting to high school, initially, I wasn't really big on our high school sports. Like, obviously, high school sports, depending on where you are, it can be very serious, or it can just be like, just a for fun sport.
Right, yeah.
So at my school, it was like a for fun sport for a lot of people. And, it wasn't the exact intensity that I wanted, but my parents were really big on, teamwork, team building, and they thought it'd be good for college, the usual. So I'm like, okay, I'll play. But really just being on, like, all throughout high school, what it really taught me is just, being able to balance my time. And that's where I got a lot of the momentum and just the skill set of just organization and being able to take that into business. And that kind of is what my business is spanned off of, is just being able to manage your time in a way that's efficient and structure out your day so that you can be good in all areas of your life, I would say that was a really big part for me.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on like the time management, because even though now that I'm not, football has been something that's been in my life since I was 7 years old in terms of like playing. So I was so used to always having that structured routine. So even when like now, like if I sleep in on accident, which is very, very rare, I'll sleep in and I feel like I already missed something, because I feel like I'm supposed to be on the schedule. I'm supposed to have my routine going. So it actually helps me to establish like that routine. And you were really making noise in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had the sportsmanship awards, you had most improved junior, you had athlete of the year, and you were like the MVP. Like I told you, I was doing my research, man. I looked you up, man. I got to do my research. You feel me?
You're bringing back memories. I almost forgot. No, seriously. But like part of this interview too is just to, give you your flowers and just like appreciate all the stuff you are doing. I feel like a lot of times when people like us were on our grind all the time, we don't really take it back. We sometimes don't get a lot of time to look back and see like, yo, what have we really done? Like, let me take the time and be like, yeah, I didn't get time to really appreciate it because you were going through the recruiting process, which goes into my next question. Like, how was recruiting for you? Was it fast paced? Did you have a lot of initial interest, or was it more of like a over time you accumulated? Like, how was it? Yeah, well, for me in the recruiting process, it was really gradual, just because when it came to obviously the tennis, like in order to get seen in the eyes of recruiters, you have to be at the biggest tournaments. Well, I'm the oldest of 5. My family is very busy, and tennis is a very expensive sport, so it's kind of hard to travel across the country at a snap of a finger just to go play at these tournaments. And so for me, it was really just grinding it out and networking. So my parent me a lot with that networking aspect and just reaching out to coaches. I trained with some of the best coaches, so they just knew people. And so just getting connected. And then obviously because my ranking wasn't all the way at the top, they had to rely on seeing my skills. So when I went to go see these coaches, they're like, okay, she's got what it takes, you know? And so then that's how that started to happen. But yeah, I did a lot of like official visits, unofficial visits. That was super exciting. But I ended up choosing the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee just because that felt like the most home to me. And I just love the environment, and the team was just everything that I could imagine and more. So yeah, that's how my recruiting process ended up going.
Man, that is amazing. And it's definitely a blessing, you know, especially it's always good to hear about people that necessarily weren't on the radar at first, finding their way and finding their niche and be able to really show it. Because I actually talked about it in one of my videos of like how to go D1 regardless of size. Even though we all know everybody's not going to go Division I, but you can do things to put yourselves in situations. So like I said, the understanding of you knowing, hey, I don't have the rating or the name behind me yet, but they just have to see me. So I'm going to put myself in the best places and best environments to where people can really see what I have to offer. They see the work, they see the grind, they see the talent. You know, I definitely preach that all the time when it comes to, you know, people I talk to for recruiting and how to start their recruiting process. And it's funny because you take those lessons in recruiting and it really transfers over to marketing so well. It transfers over so well. And that's why I'm not surprised at all when I saw what you started to do when you transition into like your actual, like your career and what you do now. I'm not surprised at all at the success. Like, I'm not, because I know a little bit about your grind and your story, and then hearing it even more now. I mean, it's just even more like it confirms like, yup, what I thought was exactly what I thought. Like, yep,
right.
Exactly. Yup. So when I would say, so another thing I want to talk about in high school is definitely a time in your life where you're coming of age, you're trying to find your influences. And one thing that people are obviously going to say is that you're very good looking, you're attractive, you're doing the thing. So what would you say influenced your style? You know what I'm saying? In terms of like what you do, because you know, with businesses, it's always about your presentation, how you present yourself to people. Like what was like your early influences in your style, maybe business wise or casual wise?
Yeah. So for me, I've always been really big on just, I don't know. I wouldn't say fashion exactly, but I enjoy being bold with my looks.
Okay.
Just because I feel like I have the energy to match it. And I feel like when it comes to, you know, making a name for yourself and really standing out, you have to make your presence known. And so I enjoy doing that by just, you know, minding my looks. And so, yeah, for me, my looks always, I don't know, they're just inspired by being different. Yeah. And I feel like by being different, it just makes me me. So yeah, and that's simple.
And I love how you said like bold and energy. So it's like you use your fashion and what you do, like the way you dress, the way you carry yourself what it does is it really captivates the room. And what it does is it attracts people to you. So even if it's like you're going to a networking event, right? Let's say you're in a networking event, there's plenty of big people there that are like investors that are willing to invest in you and your brands that you have. You're going to naturally, you know, captivate and attract that attention because of just how you carry yourself and having that bold energy. I love that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is super awesome. You know, definitely keep that up. And with that, you know, also comes like with fitness, like how did you would you say like your importance of fitness necessarily came through sports, or is that just something that you just always just had with you? Just like, I have to keep myself in the best shape I am no matter what. Like, how did it develop? Or was it just through sports?
Yeah, it was mostly through sports. So obviously, like I mentioned before, I've always been very active. It was really big in my family overall. So just knowing that the more fit you are, the more in shape you are, the better you'll play. Kind of what kept me pushing in that regard. But however, it just feels good to be fit. And so over time, it obviously became a habit. And so even to today, I still make sure that I'm, you know, taking time to work out every day, you know, going for my runs, you know, just all the basics, because if you feel good, you do good. So those two things go hand in hand.
Exactly. And I, for one, number one, I've seen you work out Number two, I've heard the stories of some of your workouts with my sister, with y'all on the bleachers, and my sister talking about, yo, I'm finna quit because Loren did these bleachers. And like, I think I heard a story like when y'all did the bleachers, y'all did like jumps on the bleachers, then y'all ran up the bleachers, ran down, did a lap around the track, and then like did a whole nother like, yo, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yo, she's not the one to play. She's not the one to play with the workouts, y'all. If y'all ever work out with her, try to keep up. Y'all better come with it, man, because y'all in for it. I'm telling you. That's awesome. So transitioning into college. So what was that like, transitioning from high school sports to college sports, and then even declaring your major? So like, was your major the same as it always was, or did it change? Like, describe your college a little bit.
Yeah, so going into college, it was really weird. Initially, I didn't want to go to college. I was really head on with like, I want to go play tennis. I just want to play, go pro. And, if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. I just really love the sport that much that it didn't matter to me. I just wanted to do what I love. However, my parents are like, we need backup plan. So I'm like, okay. I'll get a backup plan. They're like, at least have a degree under your belt and then you can go play after. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went to college, and that transition for me, it was really good because I had my team, to help me through that. It wasn't really hard for me to meet new friends. I know a lot of people I talked to, they struggled with making new friends because, you're in a whole new environment. But for me, that part came really easy. But yeah, after that, regarding my major, initially, I've always been in love with psychology. Like, I love the human mind. I love how just understanding how people think, why people make certain decisions and things like that. So initially I wanted to go to school and get a psych major, and I wanted to be a psychologist. Okay. However, with my goal being to play pro, my dad was like, that doesn't really add up. If you're going to be a psych major, you would have to get your doctorates in order to be like really successful. He was like, so you're going to do business marketing. And I was like, all right, like, I don't care. I'm just going to college, get backup plans. So whatever. So that's how I got into business. Because my dad was like, you need something. Marketing is very versatile. You can get anything with marketing. So yeah.
Whoa, that's actually really interesting. So I didn't know that. So that's actually really interesting that you said your dad saw that. So do you think it's something that he saw in you that said, marketing? Or do you think he was more of looking at it like, you're in tennis, you might need to learn how to market yourself, or you've already marketed yourself before, so this might be something naturally that you might fall into? Like, is that what you really think like it was? Or?
Yeah, so actually I had been in business or had my own like business and been doing different like side hustles since I was about 16 years old. So I didn't necessarily think that was a business, or what I was doing was very businessy. I was just making money, and I knew that I had the skills to make money. And so, he obviously put it together for me. Like, okay, you already market yourself on social media. You're doing personal training, you're coaching, you're doing all this stuff. The only thing you're missing, you can just throw a marketing degree on there and then call it a day. So he saw it before I did, because I didn't really know. I just knew that's how I get my bread, So yeah.
That's awesome. And it's so funny because like my dad, he's a car salesman. So when it came for me for switching from engineering to business, so I switched from engineering to business it was like engineering to business administration to transfer schools and calling it marketing, and then picking up accounting with marketing, and now I got the
oh wow,
that was a whole nother that's a whole nother thing. But the reason why I picked up marketing is because I felt like I was already marketing myself for like recruiting, so I felt like it would just be something naturally to go into. And it's really telling that your dad saw that in you at a young age, to be able to be like, wow, like that's crazy how you had already had these side hustles. So what side hustles did you have? Like, that's so cool. Like, yeah.
So obviously, well, at the age of 16 or 15, one of those ages, my dad, he made me become a professionally certified tennis coach. So I was already certified at 16. And so after knowing that, I realized it was a need for good coaches, and it wasn't a lot of good coaches in my area. So I was like, you know what? I'll start coaching. And so that's one of the side hustles I did. Also, we talked about how I did a lot of like working out, personal training. So I would just have, I would host workout groups at my house. Just have everybody from my high school come get fit. And that was super fun. And then I also would do hair. So I had that as a side hustle too. So yeah, it was like a lot of just things I'm good at and just making money from. Nothing too formal.
You know how to twist dreadlocks?
I do.
Okay, because I might grow my back. I don't know if I told you the story, but basically my hair got yanked in football and some of them came out. Like it was awful. Like, so I was like, that weekend I went ahead and got them cut. And that was the reason why I cut my hair. But I'm definitely might be growing it back. So if I'm ever at where you're at, I'm calling you for the twist. I got you. I definitely got to throw some cheese to the sisters. We gotta throw some cheese, support my sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? So looking at your college, so when you were done, I don't know if you necessarily want to go into it, you know what I'm saying? But you eventually had to leave tennis and go ahead and get more into your major and get immersed with that, you know, exiting tennis. How was that transition for you? And, you know, was it discouraging at the time?
Yeah. So actually that was probably like one of the, I guess lowest points of my life.
No.
Because, you know, it was weird because during that time I had officially started my first business, Lavore. Right. And so my mind was preoccupied with how can I grow this business? You know, how can I get my products out? But at the same time, I was going through this entire thing with my coach where he was trying to take away my scholarship. He was lying on me to the I don't even know, athletic board and, you know, just all this other BS. And so while like, it's two things going on. I'm losing the sport that I literally dedicated my entire life to while I'm growing a business and I'm falling in love with entrepreneurship. It's time to mourn the loss of the sport. I just went full force into business. And I think that's how I was able to see so much success in my first couple of years because I didn't take my foot off the gas. I was like, okay, if I don't have this, the extra time I spent in training, working out, spending time with my team, that's going into my business now, you know? And so like I had no excuse for, you know, for it to not happen. So yeah, that time was a bit tricky, but you know, it was all worth it. And obviously I learned my lessons from it.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, listening to your story, and first of all, I want to tell you, when I first heard about what was going on, because I think you had told my sister about what was going on, and I heard about it, man, my whole family was like, man, we was all ready to go to war for you. He was like, what, Loren? Like, she cold as heck at tennis. Like, let that girl play, man. Why y'all trying to be funny? Y'all don't want to be great, man. We was ready to go to Milwaukee and go to war. My school in Illinois wasn't that far from y'all. I was in Augustana on Rock Island. We played against Carthage. So I was like, yo, you right across the border. Like, what's up? Like, you feel me? But it's funny because I'm a firm believer that God takes things in and out of your life for certain reasons, and he moves mountains and obstacles that you don't even see. And the crazy thing about it is, I feel like a person with your energy, the way, and it's kind of like similar to me, when sometimes when I do get sad, I cope through my work. So I feel like you really coped with it and dealt with it by putting all of that energy, whether it's positive, negative, or indifferent, you can channel it and put it into a positive outcome. So seeing you do that through a tough time, it's definitely hard to maneuver. And, big kudos and congratulations to you coming out of it the way you did, because now you're, really, you got to call it what it is, CEO. You know what I'm saying? Big CEO, you feel me? Of multiple, not one, multiple businesses. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, we're going to get into some of the stuff that you did. So I want to know what came first. I want to make sure I got it right. So you won some awards. You got Wisconsin 25 under 25, and you got Entrepreneur of the Year. All while doing that, you become an ambassador of your school for business, I believe, and you launched your own course on how to do it.
Wow.
I told you I've been doing my research. Like, I told you I was gonna come with it.
You did your research.
I gotta get you right, man. You feel me? I had to get you right. So, like, I just want to and it seemed to come, and it really was like a short period of time. It didn't really seem that long, but it probably felt like forever when you were in that moment. Like, just describe what it was like getting to some of those awards and getting the backing, talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. So it's funny because my first year in business, I went for all of those like business plan competitions, pitch competitions. and I lost all of them. I came out with $0. But but the following year, you know, obviously you got to take those L's and turn them into lessons and apply it. And so I came out the next year winning over $36,000 and winning like every single competition that I was in. And so, you know, that was a pretty big deal, you know, just being able to turn that around. And I felt like at the time my energy was so in alignment with what I was supposed to be doing. Like I was so focused, and I wouldn't take no for an answer. Like I would stay up past my bedtime. Like everybody knows I go to bed at like 9 p.m. I was up at like 2 p.m. 2 a.m. just grinding it out, you know, doing whatever it took to get there. And so, yeah, that time for me, it was a struggle, but at the same time, you know, I did what I needed to do.
So one of the things during that moment when you were in like your grinding phase and starting off everything that you were doing, one of my favorite videos that I saw of you on social media, I might even post it on here. I might screen record and post it. You were like sitting in your room, crisscross applesauce, and you're just filling out all these, you were filling all these invoices. You was putting all the receipts on everything, and it was just a whole bunch of boxes in your apartment, and everything was just laid out. And I was just like, and literally, like, I was just like, yo, that is a lot. Like, you were doing it all by yourself. And it's crazy because I had, you know, another CEO, my boy Reem, he had his clothing company where he took COVID relief money that he got from the school, bought his printing machine and everything that he needed for his clothing, and started a clothing business that he sold in all 50 states now. So yeah, so it's really funny because I look at your story and I compare the two, and I'm like, yo, both of them really started from zero, and then they found their way to either get money and flip it, or you won competitions and you flipped it that way. And the way you took the money that you got, obviously, of course, yeah, you do want to have something for yourself, buy yourself something nice, of course. Got to splurge a little bit, you know, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? I got my first accounting check, and, you know, I had to, just a little bit. But at the same time, I love how you took what you got and you turned it into even more. And I saw you reinvesting it and getting access to more and more doors and competitions and meeting more people. I mean, how was that time like to really see all the nights that you put in and all the time really, you know, working out for itself and getting you into great situations? How was that feeling?
Well, it was great, but at the same time, it's important to understand, like, not everything is all, you know, rainbows, peaches, hugs, all that stuff, you know? It's like, during that time, it was a lot of learning for me, you know, because obviously getting into starting your own business, it requires you to really learn every facet of your business, from the marketing to the taxes to like everything, you know? And so that takes time. And so being a college student, trying to pass my classes, and, you know, half of the classes that I took, they weren't really preparing me or giving me the tools needed to sell my product. So I spent a lot of hours outside of school teaching myself these concepts of marketing and sales, because, you know, school doesn't really teach you how to run your own business. They teach you how to run somebody else's, you know? And I
tell my mom and my parents that all the time. I'm like, guys, you know, I love school. I think school is great. But at the same time, it's only going to teach you how to work for somebody else. Like, nobody's teaching you how to be a boss, because all the bosses that I see, they all dropped out. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
And you're like, okay, so what's the difference between me? Because they're telling me like, oh yeah, David, you know, you could get your CPA or you could do this route. So I was like, oh, okay, so he's teaching me the boss route. Or so for me, it was like, okay, I'm going to get my CPA, but I'm not going to get my master's because I already have enough credits to get my CPA. So I don't need a master's degree because that's just extra money. It's just extra time. And I was like, I can already work on creating my own businesses through accounting rather than, you know, learning how to just do stuff for everybody else. So
exactly.
So I want to now get into everything that you do. So I know for a fact, let me make sure I got this right. So we got Lavore Hair, we got Lavore Men, we have the Success Journals, and we also have your classes that you do. Is there any other business that I missed? Like,
so actually right now, the only thing that I'm focused on is just my business coaching. So right now I transitioned into being a business and life strategist, just because I really wanted to hone in on things that meant the most to me, you know, like obviously when I first started my hair care business, that was just for me to get my feet wet, really understand the world of business, what the do's and don'ts, and just to make any mistake I needed to make so that for my next businesses, you know, it'd be a lot easier to transition. So that's how I went about that. But right now I'm really focused on just being a coach to not only females, but males as well, and just empowering people to be their best self. So right now I would say that through this transition, I'm focused on getting my life coaching certification. And that's been a process in itself just because life happens. And two, just really honing in on who my current niche is. So like, obviously when you get in a business, you have your niche, or you think you know who your niche is. But every month, every year, it gets more and more specific, and you keep figuring out like, okay, actually these people are who I want to serve. And you get even more detailed than that. So that's the process I'm going through right now, and just trying to prepare myself so that I can give the most value. Yeah,
that's awesome. And I love how you took what you learned from other businesses and now you can apply it to like what you really, really, really want to target. Because I know that for myself is really because how this podcast really even started. Like I was doing beats and I was ticked off about how that business was going. And I still do my beats. I still love my music, but I was ticked off about how like the industry was working out, how certain rappers were acting. And then I was like, you know what? I don't even want to work with these selection of rappers. I only want to work with a specific group. But then I still want to be in front of the media. And I was like, you know what? I do like being in front of the camera. And I've been through a lot of life experiences that I feel like people don't talk about. Like I feel like a lot of guys specifically don't talk about some of the L's that they take. And me, I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. Like I'll talk about, I think I have a video where I talk about my ex went to, like left me for God. I went to the NFL. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a crazy L when you think about it at the time. Like, oh my God, that's nuts. But I just talk about those things. So I'm just like, yo, I'm pretty sure this happened to somebody before and they can probably relate to it and how I overcame it. And I can take what I learned from my music business and learn how to market myself like this now. And even my podcast now, how to grow it, how to collab with people, different avenues of collabing. Like I made, before I was doing podcasts, I was doing beat collabs on Zoom with people, and now I'm podcasting with people, you know? So now it's kind of cool. There's a Zoom feature where you can literally control somebody else's screen. So I would literally control their screen and like type in the stuff for them to make beats and all that. It's called like annotate. So cool. Yeah, you can go right on there and annotate. It's called remote control. And I can literally control your computer screen like right now.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
don't take my back.
No. You have to request access to. Yeah, no, I can't.
Okay.
No. But so when it comes to the possibilities that you have coming up, are you like excited, anxious, or nervous about the future possibilities that you do have, finding your niches and everything like that?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that I'm at all nervous. The biggest thing for me that really helps me to kind of stay away from being nervous is just having my big vision and just trusting in that, you know, especially going through my life and just seeing like when I have my goals and I have my vision, I always find a way to get there. And so I'm confident in my ability to get there, but it's just being patient with the process. You know, it's like when you see everybody else around you doing things, you know, going faster than you are at certain times, it's easy to be like, wow, like, I'm not going in the right direction. Like, what's wrong with me, you know? Yeah. But what I've been really focused on doing is just grounding myself. And, you know, obviously God puts us in certain situations and certain times for a reason. And so I found that being content in where I am and trusting the process and just being the best I can be every single day, then there's no reason to be nervous because what God has for me is going to be so far from what I think is for me, you know. So
you better believe it, for sure. And that energy right there is like beautiful, and that's what translates into your spirit. And, you know, you can definitely see that, especially when you see like Loren on social media. You see like all the inspiration she does, talking about self-improvement, talking about how to be your best self and all of that stuff. You really see that radiate through what she does. So when you see what she does versus like what other people do, you can like actually like see it, like you feel that energy. And that's something that I think is what definitely makes you unique in what you do. So definitely, you know, kudos to you when it comes to that.
Thank
and
you.
Yeah, of course. And then lastly, when it comes to your business, is there anything that you haven't done yet that you would love to like try with your businesses, like maybe implementing like specific technologies and just stuff like that?
I wouldn't say in regard to like technologies. I'm not that big of a tech girl.
Okay.
But in regard to actually like bigger concepts or bigger ideas, what I really want to do and what I plan to do for this upcoming year, since I am now in Atlanta, is hosting different workshops. So I've been networking since I've been down here, connecting with different like-minded people. And so we have a couple events that we're planning out right now for the community. And I'm super excited about that. And also, you know, just getting out here and helping people with things like strategy and clarity calls. Again, I feel like those are the two biggest things. When people lack clarity, you know, that's when all the stress and anxiety comes in. And so being able to help people get clear on their vision, get clear on where they want to go, help them set those goals for themselves, and then plan out an actual execution strategy. Like, life is so simple. So I'm hoping to, you know, get out there and do that more for people around here. And then also for, as I get more clear on my niche, hoping to serve them more too.
Yeah. And one thing, even looking at like your life too, is I love the fact that you take what you do, but you move it to different locations. Like you start off in Flint, then you go to Wisconsin. Now you're in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I think you was even in Memphis at one point.
Oh no, I was in Nashville.
You was in Nashville at one point. And in Nashville, I was in Memphis. I was trying to tell my coach to leave me, but that's a whole nother point. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But Jesus Christ. But now you're in Atlanta and you're really in a really predominant area for Black businesses and for Black entrepreneurs, male and female, that are really doing their thing. So I'm super excited to see what you do in Atlanta. I think it's a perfect place. You know, when it comes to that, I would either say either Atlanta or Houston, either one of those two for sure. Like those two specifically will fit you definitely very well. So I'm excited to see, you know, what you do with your businesses there. And you already got your, you know, you set up shop and you doing your thing. So definitely excited, and get out that cold weather, because I don't know if you heard, we got blizzards and stuff right now. Like it's awful.
I saw that, but no, surprisingly, it gets cold here. I thought it was gonna be sunny all day long. No, it was like 30 degrees. It was actually 12 degrees last week.
Gee, man,
they lied. They lied.
You can't escape it. All right, so now I want to get into the 5 funny but fire questions, and you can either take however long or short to talk about these questions as much as you want. You know, take your time with them. So the first question: if me and you played tennis right now, who do you think would win, and how good or bad would it go? And I don't know if you know about, and I don't know if my sister ever told you about me in tennis. I was actually pretty decent. Like I'm not bad. Like I'm actually, I promise you, I'm really not bad. Like you'd be shocked.
Okay, well, since I've left tennis, my mentality hasn't left me, so I'd have to dominate you on the court to keep it short. But, you know, I wouldn't let it hurt that bad. So I'd give it like, on a scale of 1 to 10 of how bad it hurt, I'd give it a 9.5.
9.5. No, but it's funny because there was a boy that kind of said the same thing that I had to take. So in school, I had to take another PE class, which I didn't think I thought was stupid, because I'm like, yo, I'm on the football team. Why do I need to take physical education in college? Like I'm playing college football. So I was like, you know, what can I take? And it was either badminton or tennis. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go play tennis. I'm going to beat the brakes off of everybody in the class. And I kid you not, there was this kid that was a number 1 for his high school, and he thought he was all that. And I took him in a singles match. It was so crazy. The whole class. Wow. And the thing is, this is when I was at my biggest too, because at my position, I had to be big as a nose tackle. I don't got to be big no more, so now I'm dropping weight, thank God.
Right.
But then I was like at my biggest, and I was killing this kid, and everybody was so shocked. But it was just so funny. I wish I could have recorded it so you and my sister could have saw it, because y'all would have both like had a field day.
That is
how
so
funny that was. Yes, definitely. All right, so question number 2. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
A superpower. I would say that my superpower would be to... Jeez. Oh, gosh. I guess it'd be to fly. That's
fly?
so lame.
Okay.
I guess. It'd be to
I
fly.
feel like I was going to guess you were either going to say to fly or you was going to go back to like psychology and reading minds.
I was
about to say, I was like, you either going to go that or reading minds. No, and it's so fun. Yeah. Because like for me, I was going to say like, I don't know. It would either be like flying so you can just get where places fast. So it's just like if you ever like stuck in a jam, you know what I'm saying? You can just get out that jam fast. You can just be out of it. Or like super speed. I feel like super speed would be sweet. Like you can just finish everything you need to do at your job like super fast and just leave out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That would be pretty sweet. So question number 3. So this is more for my guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm a guy. I had to ask the question for my guys. They'd be mad if I ain't asking. But if you had to describe an ideal date, where and what would it be and why? And what advice would you give to any guys that try? I had to ask.
Okay. Well, I feel like I don't want to say this in weird. I feel like I'm a little bit weird in a way that's like my typical date is not the same. But anyways, my perfect date is like something so simple. I'll give you 2 examples. One is either going on like a cute little picnic, you know, just spending quality time talking, get to know the person, or it would be to just go on a cute little coffee date, like be able to be in our own space, you know, read a little bit, drink coffee, laugh.
I like that.
I like things that are more mellow like that, but that's just the type of person I am. And advice to guys, I mean, guys, if you want a girl who has substance, you know, you have to bring substance as well. You know, you want somebody who enjoys reading, who, you know, can have quality conversations. You have to bring that as well. And I feel like a lot of times guys get stuck because they just go for beauty without, you know, looking at the other stuff. And girls too, you know, they just go for looks. So.
I noticed that like kind of a trend like over time. A lot of girls are starting to go for guys for the looks now. And I'm like, yo, some of these dudes be shallow for real. And then like other way around, you'll look at a girl's beauty first, but then you try to have a conversation with her and she can't even talk to you. Like I've been on a date, right? I went on a date. I'm not going to say her name or nothing like that, but literally we couldn't talk about anything. And then she was just like, you know what, can I get a to-go box? And then like she got her to-go box in like the first 15 minutes. I swear. I can't make this up. Oh my mom, I'm lying. I'm flying. Like yo, seriously. But like, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's hard for people to have conversations. So, and another thing too, a lot of people think that, like, for instance, you're successful in your business and what you're doing, and you're going to continue to be successful in your business and doing. For some men, that can be intimidating because they feel like they need to have they need to have everything together at this moment, or they think that they have to like show off or over impress. But it's funny because you actually said it's the little things, like it's the mellow dates, it's the picnic and getting to know you for your time. Like coffee isn't expensive. I mean, even at Starbucks, I mean, if you want to be bougie, like Starbucks, you feel me? That's like, I'm more of Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I'm saying? I'm Dunkin' Donuts. I'll give you a 2 for $3, you know what I'm saying? Give me a caramel craze, and you feel me? That's me for real. But like, I'll do, you know what I'm saying? My parents, they bougie, they be doing Starbucks every day. But like but you know, but it's not that much like a budget. Like you ain't got to Ocean Prime it up. You ain't got to freaking, you know, it's crazy.
You don't got to do too much.
You ain't got to do too much. It's just more about, like you said, the actual connection, being able to talk. And I feel like a lot of guys that are watching this, they're going to appreciate this. And if this video gets a lot of views, I'm going to apologize in advance if you get a whole bunch of DMs asking to go start. So my apologies in advance.
Worries. And last thing I have to say on that topic, what I found to be most successful, just to cut out the BS phase, the BS talking phase, ask questions that are deeper, you know, like that's the biggest thing. We try to glide over, you know, we do what you're doing, where'd you go to school? No, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. It's like, okay, what are your values? You know, understand the person in their soul. So you're like, okay, we connect, and you won't have to wait 3-4 months in to find out that, oh, our values don't even line up. Like, we can't even speak about God in the same way because she don't even love God, you know? So it's that. You should know that within the first 2 days before you even waste your time. So mind your time, and once you do that, cut people off when you need to. It's simple.
100%. I love that. I feel like a lot of people appreciate that too, most definitely. So, number 4, more of on an even more fun note. Who was your celebrity? You're gonna hate me for this. Who was your celebrity crush growing up, and are they still your celebrity crush?
Is
because my sister was Corbin Blue. She's gonna hate me for saying
really.
Yeah,
mine was between 2, Chris Brown and Trey Songz. Okay. Oh my god, I love Trey Songz and I love Chris Brown. They're not my celebrity crushes anymore because they both love. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, but those were my 2 crushes.
Oh, that's what's up. I thought you was gonna say. I thought you was going, man, because I got so many girl cousins on my mom's side. So growing up for me was brutal whenever they were around. I mean, mindless behavior, Jacob Lattimore, Zac Efron, Baywatch was always on. And I'm just like, guys, can I just watch the Boondocks? Can I just watch some cartoons? And it's like, no, we gotta watch Zac Efron on High School Musical with Chad and all. I'm like, oh my god, bro. So funny. Yeah. So for my last funny but fire question, this one's a little bit wild. If you were put in solitary confinement and had to pick one meal to eat for the rest of your life, what meal would it be and why?
Oh, I think it'd be pizza.
Really? For the rest of your life? Jesus.
Yeah, it'd be pizza. I love pizza so much. Like, my parents, my dad, so my mom, she's a nurse, so she would always work on the weekends, like Friday through Sunday. So my dad doesn't cook, so he would buy pizza every day, Friday through Sunday. And so growing up, we had pizza every weekend, and then it'd be leftover, so we'd have it throughout the week. So I basically ate pizza every day my entire life, and it's good.
You ate, so you mean to tell me, this is gonna be crazy. You mean to tell me you ate pizza every single day and you look how you look?
Yes, and it's because I worked out a lot too.
Okay. So I was about to say it cancels out. I'm about to say it cancels out.
Right, it cancels out. And the thing is, when you think about it, it's like pizza isn't really that bad. It's just it got cheese, bread, cheese,
But you got to think though, like, because we're from Michigan, so you got to think we always had Detroit style pizza. So like, what was like your go-to place? Like,
you're gonna laugh. It was Little Caesars.
No, I literally love you right now. I love you right now. I can enter any. I love you right now. I literally love you right now. I don't know if you ever saw it on my Snapchat. I literally said, if me and a girl cannot eat Little Caesars, we will never get along. I swear to God, because I've had so many bougie pizza eaters. Little Caesars is the best pizza. You can get you a 3-meat treat. You can get a freaking the whatchamacallit, the extra most bestest. I literally love you right now.
Italian bread
with the what? You better let these people. You better let these people know, man. They so sweet.
They hating on Little Caesars.
Yeah. They hating on Little Caesars. I'm about to say my next best at the Little Caesars is like Jets. I like Jets. Like that crust.
I don't know about Jets. But
what was your second favorite?
Hungry Howie's.
Hungry Howie's. I'm gonna say Hungry. For me, it's like Hungry Howie's, Jets. But another place. Have you ever been to Pizza Popoli's?
No.
You never been to Pizza Popoli's?
No.
Next time. Like yeah, I'm gonna say next time you're in Detroit downtown, I'll take you to Pizza Popoli's. I promise.
Okay.
You can go, but basically it's pizza, and you have to like use a fork because it's like this thick.
Oh, that's like Giordano's in Chicago.
Yeah, except like it's downtown Detroit style pizza. It's right downtown. It's actually by my job. So yeah, we can go. Yeah, we gotta check that out for sure. Because if because I didn't know you like pizza like that, and if I knew that, I would have been told you like about it. Like So Pizza Popoli's for sure. You gotta check that out. It's by like all the casinos, Greektown, all that stuff. So,
I'll bet.
For sure. So we gotta do that. But anyways, for the outro, is there anything that you wanted to shout out? In terms of your businesses, where we can find you at, how people can hit you up?
Yeah, of course. So if you are someone who feels like you're really struggling with your self-confidence, you're having anxiety about, where you want to go with your next steps in life, feel free to hit me up. Like I mentioned before, I am a business and life strategist. So I just love helping people gain clarity around what they want to do and just help them have tangible steps to get there. So you can follow me at Lavita, and that's LAVITTTAA. That's 3 T's and 2 A's. And just DM me if you want to chat. And yeah, I'm just always looking to connect. So I look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely make sure y'all hit her up. The boss herself, the big boss, Loren. You feel me? You got to put that in there. You got to get you like a purse or something, so like big boss, like one of them.
Oh my
God. You got a big boss, you know what I'm saying? Just you know what I'm saying? Stand on it one time.
Slight.
Just something slight, you know what I'm saying? We from Michigan, man. We flashy, you know what I'm saying? We got to do it, you know what I'm saying? But what up, though? What it is, what it ain't, but it's what you know. Everything Deezy, featuring the CEO herself, Miss Loren Nelson. Thank you so much for coming on here, and peace and blessings, y'all.